we got into so basically for anyone watching the podcast, like, how does Cuddy get all these guests? Right. Let me tell you how Cuddy gets these guests. I ask everybody, do you know somebody who wants to run a podcast? Most people say, oh, I've got someone. Right. So down in Leven, there was a drill for the fire teams to do a person recovery out of the water. Now, I run the Five Dippers dipping group. So when anything ever goes wrong on the beach in Leven, generally somebody will message the Five Dippers page and say, hope it's not a dipper, because someone's getting pulled out of the water. So I drove down just to go and have a look. Not medal, but I just thought we've got a really nice community. I'll pop down. I hope it's not one of the dippers. And as it turned out, it was just a drill in the water.
It was a casualty simulator.
It's a casualty simulator. So I spoke to somebody who looked important who was on it at CB, and I'm like, who's in charge of this? Oh, it's Coast Guard and fire. We do drills together and things like that. Perfect. And I went, who's in charge? And they went, oh, I think they mentioned nobody here, but they mentioned someone like you, Laura. And I was like, okay. And I just asked, look, want to get a podcast? However, the guy said, that's actually a really good idea. I said, yeah, not a problem. That was about 3 months ago. Nobody got in contact. And I was like, screw you, fire service, not putting anybody in contact. Then you drop me an email. Hi, do you have a problem with water safety or something? I'm like, I've got no idea who you are or why you're contacting me. Do I do a podcast? Yeah, that sounds really good. So that's the story.
Why not? You know, we're here to try and make people safer. So at the end of the day, if the message can get across in any which way or form, then I'm all good with that.
Yes, right. So this is I'm really passionate about this, and we do a lot in the Five Dippers, as a lot of the dipping groups is we talk about water safety, and I always talk about some of the statistics. So we'll leave the mental health side to the side for a little bit, because I know you're well versed in that and the benefits of it, which is what we always talk about. However, in the summer, there is more problems in the water caused by cold water shock than there is the winter.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Why is that, Laura?
Okay,
I know.
so
I'm quizzing you.
I know that people don't know what the weather's like today, but, well, if they look out the window, they will. But today is a beautiful sunny day. The sky is blue and there's not one cloud in the sky. So that, you know, the temperature's warming up. People tend to maybe have barbecues, maybe go for a nice little walk and then end up having a paddle. They're out walking their dogs. When the weather is nice, people tend to venture into the water to cool down, to just actually have fun and enjoy themselves. Unfortunately, where we stay in Scotland, the water is pretty cold.
Still cold.
You know, we're lucky. We're lucky if it's kind of double digits.
Yeah, it's between 9 and 11, right?
Yeah. So we're lucky. I'm saying we're lucky if it's between double digits. If you have places that have got the enclosed sea pools, Cellardyke, Pittenweem, St Monans, St Andrews, you know, these can heat up slightly, but again, they're tidal. So when the tide comes in, the tide goes back out, they're getting refreshed with cold water again. So they may look really, really nice, but they're still a bit chilly.
Yeah.
So people are kind of lulled into a false sense of security. Yeah. Whereas on a freezing cold day in the winter, when it's blowing an absolute hoolie, you would think of nothing more horrific than trying to go dipping in the water.
But I do. Well, I love it. The hoolier, the better for me. But so we'll talk about something that I did a while ago that did kind of backfire. I'm very open and honest about that. So I very much would love people to understand the water temperatures genuinely between summer and winter, because we go dipping in January and February and it's actually not that cold, but the outside temperature's cold.
Yeah.